Hey, I've been trying to make a mullein video for a couple weeks, and for some reason I keep getting, I don't know, I don't like my video or I get hung up on something weird. So I'm doing it today. And the reason I'm out here is because I actually have a mullein plant right here in my yard that grew. You can see this like stalk right here. That is mullein, and it kind of sticks around through the year. So you might see it. I see it sticking out of the snow all over the place where we're in snowy spots. But so inside of this part, those are the seed pods. So that's the part that flowers. And when it flowers, I'll find a picture here. But I also really wanted you guys to see my bee bath. And they're not necessarily taking a bath, but it's this bird bath right here. And I have some green and blue marbles in it, and you'll be able to sort of see them going to and fro. My hive is back a little further in my garden, but they just come from the hive and get drinks of water. So it's just water. I don't have sugar in there or anything. I could feed them sugar water right now, but they just love to come and drink water out of this thing. And if you don't put a water source near them, they'll find one somewhere else, and it will likely be somewhere you don't really want them. So I just fill that thing, and they remember, they tell each other. They're so magical. Okay, here's a picture of mullein in bloom. So at the top on the stalk here, like you'll see all these beautiful fuzzy leaves. So mullein is also known as nature's toilet paper, or that's what we call it. The leaves are super fuzzy and soft, so if you're in the woods and you need to find something to wipe with, you could find mullein. It grows in disturbed areas, so it doesn't need a lot of love. Okay, along the top here you'll see yellow flowers that look like this. And they're pretty tiny, but they're packed full of magic. So you can make a maceration and put them in oil, even olive oil, like I talked about with the cottonwood balm, or when you're making cottonwood oil, sorry. You can do the same thing with those leaves. Use some sort of oil and like infuse them for a while. But the oil is great for ears. So if you have earaches, and pain, it's really a good pain reliever. I love these mullein ear drops. I had a kiddo who always got ear infections when he was growing up, and thankfully he's kind of grown out of it. It doesn't happen very often anymore, but he's 16 now. Anyway, I used these like crazy. These and chiropractics. That combo really seemed to help with his ear infections. So we never had to do tubes, thankfully, or, you know, anything like that. Anyway, it's a magical oil. So the oil in this circumstance is oftentimes if you're getting mullein oil, you'll see it combined with like St. John's wort or calendula. Calendula we've talked about, which is another good pain reliever. It's just a soother. So yeah, there are other things that you might find mixed with it. And actually those things are in here. And garlic. Garlic and mullein oil mixed together is another common one. I think actually the eardrops that I used to use said garlic and mullein on them, but this actually has garlic in it. It just says mullein though. Anyway, mullein's a good soother for your ears, or a good healer. And it's awesome for your respiratory system, but the part of the plant that you would use for your respiratory system are the leaves. And so, as I mentioned, the leaves are really soft, but they have this like these tiny hairs on them. So if you are gonna make a mullein tea or something for your respiratory system that you would wanna drink, you would wanna try and get rid of the leaves, or the hairs on the leaves. So you could push your tea like through a cheesecloth or something and probably catch a lot of those little hairs, because they might be irritating to you. So let me think if I'm missing anything. So the tea that's made from the leaves would be good for coughs, great for asthma, I actually have a tincture that I like to get, because I just like tinctures. I just think it's like a one and done and kind of quick, instead of making myself a tea, although I do love that process too. But in this circumstance, I actually got this when the pandemic started, because I knew that one of the symptoms was respiratory distress. So I wanted to have Mullein on hand, in case one of us got it and we had that symptom, just to provide some relief. It's an expectorant, so it will help to expel mucus. It's also an antitussive, so it can help stop you from coughing. Great for bronchitis, awesome if you have COPD. It can be something that you use kind of regularly. And then actually oftentimes I just have like kind of a dry respiratory system, so it's just a good soother. It's nice for hoarse throats or sore throats or any bronchial stuff that you have going on, and spasmodic coughs. It can help with that also. So you can make tea from the leaves, you can make oil from the flowers. Inside of the big stalk here, after it's done blooming, you can actually like walk up to one in the woods and tip it on its side and kind of just tap it on your hand, and you'll see all these teeny tiny little seeds come out, and they sort of look like poppy seeds. They're like tiny like that, little granules. A pine cone just fell out of a really tall tree. Yeah, and it reseeds itself. It actually blooms its second year, so it's a biennial plant. But those little tiny seeds just kind of go everywhere, and they really don't need that much love. So they'll kind of just appear. And one thing that I always love to talk about is how it's really cool that plants grow right in an environment where people would, and where they can support you, basically. So we have a lot of forest fires and just kind of a dry climate in Montana. And so having mullein grow in an environment like that, it's so cool, because it's what your body might need, and what the environment needs different times of the year when it's dry and fiery. So yeah, I like that. I like that medicine grows all around us. One thing that I think of when I see mullein too is they just kind of look like these really tall people. Like sometimes I'll catch them out of the corner of my eye, and usually there's more than one plant growing there, so it just kind of looks like a little party or something. Okay, that's mullein. I don't think I'm gonna have a product on my site for sale. So this one's just a plant that I've been wanting to share for a while, but I'm not gonna have anything to sell that has mullein in it. I just want you to see it when you're in the woods. Okay, bye.